Needle, and this is a real unique little shopping center. So it's kind of like a step back in time, but it's right on Highway 51 in Ridgeland. And we are going to go in and we're going to meet Beverly. Beverly Anglin is the owner of Southern Needle Yarn Shop. And she's a very delightful, very knowledgeable lady, so you're going to enjoy this visit today. Well, I've just gotten to the needle shop, and I want you to meet my good friend. This is Beverly, and she is the owner of Southern Needle Yarn Shop here in Ridgeland, Mississippi. So good morning, Beverly.
Good morning, Carolyn. How are you?
Thank you for letting us come into your yarn shop today and see all your beautiful yarn. So we're going to take a tour. We're going to talk to Beverly, and I hope you enjoy this visit today. So Beverly, tell me a little bit about your background. What inspired you to have a yarn shop?
I was a co-supporter of a local stitching group, and we met in somebody's conference room. We met at the library. We met in a church community room, wherever we could find a space where 10 or 15 of us could sit down for an hour or two and stitch, talk, and just develop our desire to continue to knit, crochet, or whatever somebody was doing. The area didn't have but one yarn shop, and there was a lot of discussion about we need a second yarn shop, and that went on for quite a while. And I tried to keep my hand down, but I knew that there was a need. And I don't know if I was the one that was crazy enough to do it or if I was the one that was smart enough to do it. We'll see. 10 years later, maybe it was smart. But I decided I would go ahead and establish a small shop. I had a purchasing marketing background in some of my previous job, and I felt like I could handle stepping into that. Jackson State had a think tank for small businesses to be developed, and I went to them and they helped me do some of the paperwork to get established with the government and the taxes and all that goes along to establish a business. So we did that back in 2012.
So how long have you had your yarn shop now?
Well, I officially opened it in 2013.
Okay.
So
wow, that was quick.
Yes,
Okay.
It was.
You moved fast.
Well, the think tank did a lot of the hard work for me. I signed a lot of papers and away we went, sort of thing, and it was kind of fun.
Good.
But they were a great support base, and people were anxious for us to get the door open, so that's what we did.
So you've had a long time.
Background.
What's my word? I want to think. Interest in yarn, and the thing about your yarn and your shop that I like is that you have specialty yarn. You have yarn that I can't find if I go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's.
And that was
or
my
Michael's,
number one goal, was to provide yarn that you didn't find at Joann or Hobby Lobby or at Walmart. Having grown up in a different area and having been exposed to other yarn choices that I knew were out there in the world of yarn, I just felt like that's what my focus needed to be for this shop. Okay. And I've tried to maintain that focus.
So you have good quality yarns that we can't find unless we go online
Correct.
and order it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, do you have specialty patterns, or do you have teachers come in, or what else do you have in your shop?
We do a little bit of both. I have several teachers that I can draw on for their subspecialty, like my friend that teaches tatting. I don't tat, but she does and loves to do it. So there's a little difference in somebody wanting to learn that older craft that's still out there. I have a couple of really good friends who are very skilled crocheters, and sometimes I don't have time to do it, but I let them do it because it's good for other folks to be exposed to other folks and their style of teaching, not just mine.
And I know when you had your other shop, because you've just moved to this location in the last about 4 years, but you had a weaver come in. You had a spinning wheel and actual people who work with the fiber to make the yarn.
And I still do that.
Do you?
I actually belong to the Weavers and Spinners Guild, which is a subset of the big main Mississippi Craftsmen's Guild. And so I can draw on those ladies as well. And we will have special spinning classes I have a good friend that is a certified spinning instructor. She's done courses to bear that. She's a master spinner, and she will come, and we'll have half a dozen people here with their spinning wheels, and she'll teach that class. As well as my tatting teacher is also a spinner, and she teaches drop spindle spinning, where you hold an item in your hand and you work the fiber through that spindle to make yarn.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. It's amazing to watch.
Well, it's so fascinating because there is so much to know with yarn and using yarn and about yarn. So you are an expert. This is 2025, so you've been here 10 years?
I've been here since 19. So I've been here, we're starting year number 6 in this spot.
And you've been a yarn expert and a shop owner for now?
Well, since 2013, right? So 12, 13 years, right.
Well, that sounds great. Well, we're going to take a look around Beverly's shop, and she's going to show us some of the things that she has. Now, can people order what you have if they see something while we're going
Absolutely.
around?
I have many places that I can reach out to find a yarn that they're looking for. I've got lots of little ideas of where I can go and find it at a good price and see how quickly we can get it. And it doesn't take me any time at all right now to get yarn. Things are better as far as the stock and the shipping is concerned.
So I'm going to put Beverly's information in the description box. So anything, if you have any questions after you watch this, just put your questions in. We'll be in touch with Beverly and we'll try to get the answers for you.
Absolutely. No question is too small.
Isn't that great?
Along this side we have weaving products, a little bit of roving. This is what they use for the spinning wheel to make the yarn. Little drop spindles here that can be used to spin with. This is a fun little wig for somebody who's going through chemotherapy. They can make themselves a wig. They don't have to wear a hat all the time. We've got the children's corner where we've got different ideas and different weight yarns, a lot of cotton in this area for the kids to wear. We have our rack that has samples on it, and they're labeled so that if you look at something you can see what it is. You can look at the tag and go, oh, I can find that pattern, I want to make that sort of thing. Little yarn cozies that we make here at the shop to hold your little balls of yarn.
And those are sewn, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we come along and we're in a little bit of a lighter weight area. This is DK weight yarn. It's a little bit lighter, more suited to this warm Mississippi weather that we have. We make up kits for some of our pattern ideas and make suggestions for some things that people can make.
Do you have those on your website, the kits and the patterns?
Yes, we put a pattern out this August. And it's a little coffee cup cozy that has a bit of a winter theme to it. And you can come and get the pattern and the kit, or just the pattern, and buy the yarn, whichever you prefer.
And that's listed on your website.
Yes, it's on the
now,
Facebook.
Is that
and
beginner friendly, or do you have to be an expert knitter?
It should be printer friendly. We try and make it as simple as possible.
Good, that's my category.
Yes.
I'm just getting back into it.
It's sort of my category for some things too. All right, down this middle row, we have some specialty yarns that are independent dyers, and I like to take a look at who in the southeastern region is an independent dyer, and I will go out and buy some of their yarn and then bring it to the shop so that it's available for other.
What do you mean independent? Explain, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
These are folks who have made it their kitchen country, cottage industry, whatever you want to call it,
Really?
in buying undyed yarn in different weights and types of fiber, and they take it and they dye it and they sell it.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
independent
fantastic.
dyers are fascinating people. None of them are the same at all. You could have a half a dozen in here and nothing would be duplicate.
Oh, that is amazing.
So they use mohair, they use cashmere, they use fine, what we call blanks to dye.
So this tag tells who that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And that's a bamboo base there. You wouldn't find that at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And that's one of my big purposes in this shop, is to find those kinds of things that aren't out there with the big boxes, and we bring
Right.
it to this shop.
And that gives them an outlet, a market outlet, and helps
Yes.
you and them.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Now on this side we have a little bit more of the DK weight in different colors. We have some chunky here for those who need something a little bit heavier, depending on who the item is for and where they live. And that's sometimes the two questions I ask: who is it for and where do they live? Different color and yarn combinations from different companies. Even something as thin as something that's called lace weight. It's very thin.
Okay. This is so amazing. It just fascinates me. Anything yarn or anything fabric, I love.
We have what we call sock weight yarn, and that is a fingering weight yarn. It's very thin. It takes a smaller needle. But one of the things about this weight yarn that people have been fascinated with and discovered was that they can make up shawls with this weight yarn and only have to buy 1 or 2 of these hanks instead of 10 or 12 balls.
Okay.
And so we try to have a varied offering of, and some of these are independent dyers hanging here, colors and choices, so that if somebody wants to make a shawl, and a shawl only needs around 450 yards, most of these are 450 yards or better.
Oh,
So there's a shawl hanging on the wall.
So I see this is all twisted now. I'm just a beginner getting back into it. So how do you knit from that twisted
You
hank?
don't knit from that twist. That
Oh.
twist has to be wound up.
Oh,
One of
okay.
the things about better quality yarn is it is meant to rest until you're ready to use it.
It's what?
Meant to rest.
Okay.
And when it comes from the mill where it was put together, color and fiber, it is put into hanks or skeins, and it is resting in an untwisted, untensioned form until you knit it.
Okay.
When you knit a stitch, you are putting tension on the yarn, and it remembers that you changed its shape.
Oh, that sounds complicated, Beverly. I don't know if I can do that.
Not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay, so you can get that, you call that a hank. You can get that hank into a knitting form for me?
Sure
Okay.
can. And this is what it will look like.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with that.
They're called cakes.
Okay.
So it's ready to be knitted.
And you got that into that.
That into that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're the expert. And what's that on the wall? Looks like books, and is that
This
patterns
is
and-
our in-store library. All these books are here for people to look at and get suggestions or ideas. If they're not very comfortable having to use the internet, which is just so much of our life nowadays. Over the years, I've collected all of these books, and they are out there for people to look at. I have binders that are sorted into categories that they can look through and get the pattern or find out where they can get it.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so this is pretty much your yarn inventory at the moment, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And on this wall, we have needles and all of the goodies that go with it, right?
Yes. I carry Knitter's Pride, which is now Knit Pro, which is a metal-based needle. I carry Clover, which is your bamboo wood-based needle. I carry interchangeables so that you can buy the tips and then buy the cables and join them together, and other little accessories that people like to have to knit with.
Okay.
Over here, we have a little stand that has crochet hooks, stitch markers, rulers, little needles that you sew your yarn with, measuring tapes, buttons in the basket.
Now this looks like your comfy get together and chat area.
Yes, this is our sitting area, and I was very determined to maintain this kind of a sitting area for people to come in and sit down for a little bit or be in the knitting group and have a community where everybody is working on a project and we're talking about how those projects are. We share those patterns for people to admire and get suggestions. It's also a place where I can have students sit if they need a little one-on-one and they need to be away from the busyness of the table, as well as I'm able to show them what they have to do with their project when it gets done. And I left this out on purpose so that you could see that this is an integral part of finishing a project. I have this blocked, and you see that I have blocking pins all around it. I'm ready to take it off the block because I blocked it Saturday afternoon before I left. And it is the front of a summer tea top that I knitted. And
That's
it has
beautiful.
a lace design down the one side.
Beautiful. Well, Beverly, this looks like just a cozy sit down at home with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and chat and enjoy yarn. So I'm a beginner just getting back into it. So what would you recommend I start on? I showed the group last time my needles and my little sample. I was trying to get used to holding the yarn again.
Let me walk over there and get the sample that I want to show you so that you can see what you're going to knit.
So to get started, for me to get back into a simple beginner project, you're going to show me, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to remind you how to read a pattern.
Okay.
And I'm going to get you to do this simple little dishcloth pattern for me.
Okay.
And it gets you back into remembering how to do your knits and your purls and how to read a pattern.
Okay. Now, what is this I did? Is that
This
knit
is
or a pearl?
that's
or
just straight knitting on both sides, and you'll see
Okay.
the difference. Let me lay these down next to each other, kind of like this.
Okay. Because
you-
I don't know what I did. I was following a YouTube tutorial.
Right. This is just all knit stitch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is a knit and purl design where one row is knit and one row is purl. And then in the pattern there's a little spot that you see where you're doing those stitches according to the pattern, and it gives you the design.
Okay. Now, we're not going to sit down and let you show me how to knit because there are so many tutorials on YouTube to show beginner stitches. So that's not what I'm doing today. I'm inspiring on what I do as a hobby, and you're going to get me started on it, and then I'm going to show everybody my progress because this is like learning to ride a bike again.
Yes, it is.
It's been a long time, and my fingers, I'm used to crochet in one crochet hook. Now I've got to get used to manipulating two needles.
And it's you reminding your hands that they're doing something a little bit different, but it's still the same basic principle of using both your hands and forming stitches to make a project.
Okay, well, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, so I'm going to show the group what we decide on. Beverly has me started, and my beginner learning project is going to be this dishcloth. And on what I've been showing you that I've been doing, which I didn't know what I was doing except following a tutorial, was knit stitch?
Correct.
A knit stitch. So I've got to learn the purl stitch. So Beverly's going to show me, and I'm going to zoom in on her needles. Okay, Beverly, you got the show. Is your microphone straight? Okay.
Okay. In the purl stitch, you want to get your yarn in the front, and then you want to take your right needle and you're going to stab through that stitch from the back to the front. Then you're going to take your yarn and you're going to wrap it around right to left, and then you're going to take this needle and you're going to push that wrap away from you and then slide it off the left needle. Now let me do another one, and then I'm going to show you the back side. I'm going to stab from back to front.
Hang on.
I'm going to wrap right to left, or counterclockwise for some people, and then I'm going to push that wrap away and off the left needle. Yarn in front, back to front, right to left, push that wrap away and off that needle.
Okay.
We've been doing the knit stitch all along through here. And then right here we change to the purl stitch. So if you'll notice, the bumps that are on the bottom of the stitch now are more pronounced, where they don't seem to be right here. Now if I turn this needle over, you can see the difference. Here we have all the bumps on our knit stitches, and then when we came along to the purl, we don't have any bumps here because they're over there.
Beverly, thank you so much for the tour of your shop and all your valuable information, and I appreciate it very much. And I'm sure all of my fellow knitters in YouTube land at Retired Happy are going to enjoy this. So.
I welcome anybody come through the door and enjoy the atmosphere and come be part of our community.
And they know how to get in touch with you because I'm going to post it on my description. And I am so excited to get started on my little beginner pattern. Then I'm going to move to that beautiful sweater right there. That's my goal, is to do something fantastic like you have in your shop. And I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Thank you for coming, Carolyn. It's my pleasure.
So now I'm home from Beverly's shop, and I have my directions, and I have to cast on 20 stitches. So this is not a tutorial, but I'm showing you my progress because I'm very, very clumsy at all this. So I'm going to cast on my stitches, and I'm still getting comfortable holding the yarn, so all of you can identify with having to learn how to hold the yarn again. So this is my learning project for the summer. While it's too hot to be outside, I am challenging myself to learn to knit, and it's still very awkward. So I'm casting on 22 stitches. So I'm using the Hobby Lobby I Love This cotton yarn. Beverly said cotton yarn would be the best to use, and I am making a dishcloth for my very first project. So I'm very proud. I have 22 stitches cast on. Now the next row, row 1, will be a knit stitch. Now I have my cast on stitches and I'm learning to make the purl stitch. So the tutorial I'm following on beginning knitting is sheep and stitch. And she is a really good instructor, so I would really recommend her. I'll put her link in the bottom, so anyone who is just beginning. So now I'm going to make my first row of stitches. And I'm still clumsy at this, so my hands have not gotten used to it yet. But now the first row is a knit stitch. So there we go. I am knitting. Isn't that fun to learn something new? And I hope to keep practicing so I can do some of those really pretty, complicated patterns we saw in Beverly's shop. So I'll meet you back.